Hi everyone, Dr. Emmy from Pain Free and Fit. Today, one of the best beginner's exercises for low back posterior disc herniation. Hope you enjoy. So one of the simplest and best exercises for low back disc herniation that beginners can do at the very onset of their program. They're wondering, what can I do exercise-wise to help with my low back disc herniation? Whether I'm in acute pain or whether I've had a chronic problem for a long time, this is one of the best exercises for beginners to do to get your program started. Now remember, there's tons of other exercises that all have to be tailored for your individual disc problem based on your unique biomechanical needs, and we've outlined some of those here on the channel. We have a lot others in our fast track program for degenerative disc disease at painfreeandfit.com. But let's go over this great beginner's exercise because this will help get your ball rolling. Even if you're someone who's stressed for time and don't have a lot of time to devote to your rehab, this beginner's exercise is a great thing. You can put it at any place, any time of the day. So it all begins with the position of the low back and its curve, its lordosis. Most of the time with posterior disc herniations, what's happened is the inside fluid in the disc has moved backwards through cracks or tears in the disc, and it's putting pressure against the back wall of the disc. Remember, the inside of the disc fibers don't get nerve supply or blood supply, so they don't feel pain. It's only when that pressure builds up and it stresses the outer walls of the discs, which do get nerve supply, that you feel pain. The reason for this is from prolonged, usually flexion postures, meaning that the curve or lordosis in your lower back has been decreased for so long because of improper posture, like slumping forward or bending forward from the waist without bending from your hip joint, which is our major joint. Remember, the low back is designed to bend forward, but not excessively without the hips also participating. So one of the greatest things that you can do to start your rehab program in this beginner's exercise is to do an exercise that actually encourages a little bit of lordosis, or that curve. Because what this does is, as the hips move backwards, and if you just look at my standing posture, normally my ear, shoulder, hip, and ankle should all be pretty much on a straight line. But when my hip starts to move backwards, you can feel that your tailbone tilts up just a little bit and your pubic bone tilts down. That's called an anterior pelvic tilt. And as opposed to doing it in this position where we're holding our body in alignment from that line we just talked about, by bringing the hips backwards, it engages the multifidus, the erector spinae muscles, which the multifidus in most disc studies show is weak or atrophied with disc herniations, and this is a great way to wake up that multifidus strength, as well as start to increase that curve. Now, you don't have to go way back like this, and I suggest that your knees are bent slightly while you do this. Again, you don't need a big bend like you're squatting, but just crack the knees a little bit and practice bringing your hips straight back. Hold for a second or two and then forward. And this motion is encouraging that lordosis, that curve in the back, which by slightly compressing the back of the disc during this motion, it helps to push that fluid of the disc, the inner gel or nucleus, back towards the center in a forward motion. And that relieves pressure on the back of the disc. This is a lot more subtle, let's say, than doing McKenzie exercises where you're laying on the ground and using press-ups and other things where you're really arching the back. This is very subtle, so that's why it's a great beginner's one. Even if you're in acute disc pain with your herniation or bulge or degenerative disc, just cycling back and forth for perhaps sets of 10 or 15 reps, holding for a second to 3, will help to engage those muscles, start to wake up those multifidus muscles, those erector spinae muscles, and you'll many times feel that after a set or 2 of this, your low back actually feels better. So I encourage you, when you do this, to keep in mind perhaps some of the other biomechanical problems that you have. If you have found, let's say, during an analysis of your posture, just look in the mirror, that you have a tendency to stand with one leg forward or twist your hips to one side, you want to take that into account while doing this exercise. You want to make sure that leg is back or the pelvis is twisted back towards normal. If you have a tendency, let's say, to lean to one side, this is many times involved in people with what we call posterolateral disc herniations, where they lean to one side. Try leaning more towards a neutral position to decrease that pressure on your disc. So I encourage you to try these hip retractions a few times during the day. You could literally do them once every 15-20 minutes, even a set of 5, and throughout the day that's going to encourage that disc fluid to move back to the center, start to wake up some of those atrophied muscles like your multifidi and the erector spinae, and over time it's going to set a nice base for more exercises to come to build the stability of your low back. If you have questions or comments on this exercise, feel free to write in. As always, subscribe to the channel to learn more degenerative disc, herniated, and bulging disc exercises. And if you're looking for a great routine to figure out what your biomechanics are, how they relate to your disc pain, check out our Fast Track program for degenerative disc disease. It applies not only to degenerative, but also herniated and bulging discs. That's available at painfreeandfit.com. I hope this tutorial on the basic beginner's exercise of standing hip retraction helps you with your disc-related low back pain.